Canto 1, Chapter 10. Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwaraka. Shaunaka Rishi then asked, "So after killing the aggressors, how did Maharaj Yudhishthir, who was the greatest of all religious men, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects?" Suta Goswami replied, "After he was enlightened by Bhishma and Karna, and he had eradicated all his misgivings, Yudhishthir ruled over the earth, followed by his brothers. The kingdom was very prosperous. There was sufficient rainfall, there was profuse production from the earth, cows were very happy. A lot of tax was paid by the rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs. All the citizens were happy, and nobody was disturbed by anxieties, diseases, or excessive heat and excessive cold, and other living beings, or even their own bodies and minds. Everybody was very, very happy. Lord Krishna resided with Yudhishthir in Hastinapur for a few more months to pacify his relatives and even to please his own sister Subhadra. Then he took permission from Yudhishthir to leave. So after exchanging obeisances and embraces from his loved ones, Krishna mounted his chariot. Unable to bear their separation from Krishna, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yuyutsu, Kripacharya, Nakula Sahadeva, Bhimasena, Dhaumya, and Satyavati nearly fainted. There was unbearable separation. The intelligent who are freed from bad association cannot give up hearing the Lord's glories, even having heard them only once. Then, how could the Pandavas, who were so intimately absorbed in Krishna while seeing, touching, conversing, sleeping, sitting, and eating with him, tolerate separation from him? All their hearts simply melted in affection. They looked upon him with unblinking eyes. The women blocked their tears that was caused by the anxiety and affection they had for Krishna, and they tried to avoid crying in front of him because they considered that it might be inauspicious to cry at the time of Krishna's departure. The Kuru women climbed on the roofs of the palace to see Krishna, and with smiling and affectionate shyness, they showered flowers on him. At that time, Arjuna, he held up a well-decorated white-colored umbrella for his dear friend. Uddhava and Satyaki fanned the Lord, who appeared so beautiful. The Brahmanas could be heard uttering benedictions which were befitting for the Lord, who is indeed the Absolute. Hastinapur ladies began to discuss about the Lord's glories. There was pleasing talks among the Kuru women who were fully absorbed in Krishna. They said, this Lord Krishna is the original Purusha. He is Mahavishnu, who alone existed before the creation, and into whom all the jivas merge after annihilation. He manifests the scriptures, and again to give names and forms to the jivas, he placed them under Prakriti, who is empowered to recreate by his own energy. The Lord's form is experienced by great devotees who are purified by intense bhakti and by controlling the senses and life air. His excellent pastimes are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature by his great devotees. He is the one who creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world, but he always remains unaffected. When there are irresponsible kings who rule by adharma, he manifests his transcendental forms as necessary for the age, and he comes to re-establish dharma. How wonderful is the Yadu dynasty, and how victorious is Mathura. Krishna has taken birth there and wandered in his childhood. Dwaraka is more glorious than the heavens and enhances the fame of earth because its inhabitants constantly see Krishna, who glance at them with their sweet smiles. The wives of Krishna must have performed so many vows, sacrifices, and so much worship of Krishna to relish the nectar of his lips. The Vrajagopis would often faint just by expecting such favors from him. Rukmini and others were forcibly taken from the Swayamvar ceremonies by Krishna after he had defeated many powerful kings like Sishupal. After killing Bhaumasura, he accepted many wives, almost 16,100, who all became glorious by their lotus-eyed husband, who pleased them with valuable gifts and never left their houses. While the ladies were talking in this way, the Lord accepted their greetings and smiling and glancing, he departed. Out of affection, Yudhishthir, who is Ajatashatru, arranged 4 divisions of defense to accompany Lord Sri Krishna. And he, overwhelmed by separation, the Pandavas accompanied Lord Sri Krishna for a considerable distance. However, Krishna persuaded them to return back while he alone proceeded towards Dwaraka with his companions. The Lord passed through various provinces like Kurujangala and Panchala to reach Dwaraka. He was welcomed and worshipped at these places and suspended his journey every evening to perform his evening rites. This completes the summary of Canto 1, Chapter 10. Hare Krishna.